Hey, you playa, have you ever had a crush on a super hot girl but thought to yourself, I'm weird, I'm quirky, I'm nerdy, there's no chance a girl like that would ever go for a guy like me? Well, I've got news for you. It is possible to land a hot girl if you're a nerdy guy, and I'll tell you how. The first thing we need to acknowledge here is that not every single girl that you like is going to like you back. There are going to be girls that just don't connect with what you're bringing to the table, and that's okay. I know it sucks because you do have that crush on them, but you have to accept it. Now that that part's out of the way, let's take a realistic look at the social pressures that affect hot and popular girls that may be influencing how they perceive you. You might be thinking they're hot and attractive. People adore them, people like being around them, things just come naturally and easy for them. Well, there is an element of truth in that. Attractive people do get better treatment in our society, but they still have to succumb to social pressures. There are high expectations put on super attractive people, who they hang out with, how they dress, how they upkeep their attractiveness, and they're constantly judged for that singular factor, and a lot of their other personal factors tend to get ignored. For a super hot girl that's aware of how she looks, she's going to recognize that she's being judged on that criteria alone. And because of that, she's going to get pushed into certain social circles and certain social activities that are considered traditionally cool. If she has a hobby or interest that's not considered conventionally cool, she's probably going to hide or suppress that because it's going to affect her public image. And so that ultimately changes how she perceives you and the things that you like. There's a huge stigma around certain hobbies that people may have in society that they may just consider childish or immature or weird. If you look behind me, you'll see tons and tons of action figures. Where do you think that falls on the line? But I want to be honest here, any girl that I've ever liked or hooked up with or dated has known about my hobby of collecting toys, and it's never affected my relationship with them. I've only known one girl in my life that has called me childish and immature for collecting toys. I talk more about that in the video over here. And the reason why this stigma exists is because certain hobbies are considered isolating and not social. Some things you do in private by yourself, and they require so much intricate detail in explaining it to the average person that they just get lost and overwhelmed. Whereas hobbies that tend to appeal to the most attractive people are usually social in nature: sports, fashion, clothing, makeup, and celebrity culture. So what chance does a guy like you who's into some very nerdy stuff have with getting a girl who's way over here who's into the complete opposite things? The good news is that society is evolving. Things are changing in your favor. Lots of nerdy hobbies are becoming more mainstream. Social media has made it so easy to find creators all over the internet that are into all kinds of things. Science and math and rock collecting, whatever it is that you're into, there's someone out there who's an influencer in it. And because of that, we're destigmatizing the disconnect that existed before and building real bridges. Two simple examples of that are comic books and video games. There are tons of hot girls today that love Marvel movies and openly play video games. But if you're a nerdy guy, there are still 3 things you need to do to make sure you can land a girl like that. Number 1, don't waste your time with girls that are too image obsessed. There are still girls that are not on that progressive train and will judge you for your nerdy interest. So they're not the people worth pursuing no matter how hot you think they are. Number 2, talk about the reasons and feelings behind why you like the thing that you like. Instead of going on a long monologue explaining the deep history behind this anime series that you're obsessed with, tell them about the characters in the show, the hard decisions they have to make, and why that personally impacts you, the feelings you get when you watch it, and why you're so drawn into it and inspired by that show. That conversation is going to be a lot more fruitful, especially if the girl you're talking to is a mainstream casual kind of person and has no clue about anything that you're really going into detail about. Number 3, be more social with your hobbies and your interests. Nowadays, there are tons of Discord servers and Instagram fan pages and online communities that you can join that really center around the things that you like. If you get more involved with those type of people, chances are you're going to come across a girl that is also part of that community that you could have a better chance with because you both have those same mutual hobbies. It is not impossible to land a hot girl, no matter how nerdy you are. Sometimes it's insecurity and self-doubt that hold you back. So put your confidence on display. Let them see that you're proud of the things that you like, you're open to talking about them, but most importantly, you're open to sharing with them and learning about their interests too. It's that mutual connection and mutual openness that's going to allow the two of you to develop something much deeper. All of that is a really good starting point, but there's still a lot more that you can do to land a hot girl. In fact, I'm going to link up a video over here on the screen where I'm going to walk through more steps that you can start taking to get the girl that you want. Check that video out, and I'll catch you next time. As always, love and peace.